The constraints of space mean that the personal stories I tell here represent only a small proportion of the riches contained in these resources, but hopefully enough to allow the reader to enter these men's lives for a short time and to share a small part of their experience of flying the de Havilland Mosquito. Over the past 30 years, I have taken every opportunity I could to speak to the remaining eyewitnesses of the air war. To spend time talking to old men about their youth is always rewarding, amusing, and poignant, often all in the same sitting. I count it a great privilege to have been able to visit and speak to Ken Oatley, to my knowledge the last surviving airman of the illustrious group who flew with 627 Squadron. His accounts are particularly vivid, his sharp mind recalling wartime events as if they had taken place only yesterday. He is the last among us to have seen their target grow large in the small windscreen of a Mosquito as it dived to place its markers. Ken met and served with such men as Guy Gibson and Leonard Cheshire. His period of combat flying was a brief interlude in his 100 years of living, yet, as with so many of his compatriots, the experience forged his character for years ahead. Investigating the exploits of 627 Squadron requires the writer not only to tell the story of the de Havilland Mosquito itself, but also, in order to set this singular aircraft in its strategic context and explain the necessity of its particular method of flying, to provide some wider background narrative of the bombing war in which it took part. There is accordingly some overlap between Mosquito men and my previous book, The Crew, but I have, wherever possible, attempted to keep repetition within bounds. The narrative of The Crew was built around the lives of 7 airmen who flew together in the same heavy bomber. Mosquito Men offers more of a tapestry of characters, all of them interconnected by their association with an extraordinary flying machine, but each coming with his own unique story. I make no apology for including extended details of the crew's lives and experiences before they joined 627 Squadron. The character and skills of the men who flew the Mosquito were forged by what they had learned from flying other types of aircraft, so I felt it important for this book to capture that crucial element of their previous experience. It is notable that the men who excelled at 627 Squadron were in the final stages of their operational careers. For many of them, service on the Mossie was their swan song as aircrew. I am much indebted to the unnamed hundreds of enthusiasts who have striven to build websites to catalogue Second World War operations. The lengths they have gone to and the exactitude with which they have carried out their task can sometimes appear beyond comprehension. Without their collective input, it would not have been possible to present even half of the detail contained in this book. Underpinning all research are the records held at the National Archives at Kew. The digitizing of millions of typewritten pages enables authors to explore a subject at an ever-expanding level of detail. I apologize to aviation enthusiasts that I have not been able to cover the career of other Mosquito squadrons in detail, or to spend more time writing about the in-service development of this outstanding aeroplane. Some significant elements of the story of the de Havilland Mosquito are absent from this account, but my focus on just one squadron allowed me only limited space to mention others. I have no qualms in describing the men of 627 Squadron as elite. Their service record bears witness to their extraordinary achievements. For all the attention we give the Mosquito men, however, we must not forget the heavy burden borne by women during this most turbulent of times. For mothers, wives, and girlfriends, each day was accompanied by persistent, gnawing worry about the fate of their loved ones, a concern that was certainly not misplaced when it came to those serving with Bomber Command. This was also a time in history when women fulfilled many roles traditionally